I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on
Carvana.
Pickup fees may apply. When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Zootopia 2 has come home to Disney+.
Let's go!
Get ready for a new case.
We're gonna crack this case and prove we're the greatest partners of all time!
New friends.
You are Gary the Snake. And your last name? The Snake.
Dream team.
And new habitats.
Zootopia has a secret reptile population.
You can watch the record-breaking phenomenon at home.
You're clearly working at it.
Zootopia 2, now available on Disney+, rated PG.
This season of Pack Your Knives is presented by the Charlotte Regional Visitors Authority, and we got something special, a 6-part Savor Charlotte edition diving into the people shaping one of the South's most exciting food scenes. Charlotte's been getting a lot of national buzz lately, and for good reason. From hosting Top Chef Carolinas to its growing presence in the Michelin Guide, the city is quickly becoming a place where bold new ideas and Southern tradition come together on the plate. So go check out charlottesgotalot.com for more.
Carly, this episode was all about fish, and as a pescatarian, I was very excited to see that because I would have eaten every single one of those dishes. But I'm curious, we saw lots of different preparations of the same fish. What's your favorite way to have fish?
I think it depends on whether I'm cooking it or someone else is. If I'm cooking it, I'm honestly probably going to just bake it. In the Pacific Northwest, it'd probably be salmon. And it's just easier. It's all in one pan. You don't really have to babysit it. I probably do overcook it, compared to what all of these chefs would do, though we'll get to the elimination.
Yes.
But if I'm going out, like I love a really good crispy skin. And so probably like pan fried?
Yeah, pan seared. I'm with you. I do love a really good fish taco, and Jonathan's looked amazing. And so if I saw that on the menu, that might be what I would order. But I think in general, I'm probably eating a pan seared fish. I like at home, we'll pan sear it and then like finish it off in the oven. And like get it nice and moist. I think probably go with pan seared, but I do love a good fried fish taco.
I would probably never order a fish taco. I never crave fish. I like it. I enjoy it when I eat it. I just thought of another preparation for those of you who have Sheldon Simeon's first cookbook. His second one, Ohana, just came out or is coming out soon. But he's got a recipe that he calls sushi pan dynamite. And it is a sort of like diced salmon or other fish in a spicy mayo aioli thing. And you create like, you make really yummy sushi rice with some like sugar and stuff in it. And then you just barely bake the fish. And then you can have it with seaweed and sort of pick it up and you can do all sorts of things, but it's so good.
Oh my God, that sounds delicious.
Yeah. Well, we'll be talking more about fish.
Yes.
For the next however long we're together, Kendra.
Correct.
Kendra and I are Track Your Knives, and unlike traditional recap podcasts, what we do is we bring in information from the power rankings that everyone submits each week, with the exception of me this week. And those power rankings, you will rank people from the most likely to be eliminated to the most likely to win. The winner of the power rankings will get a chef-curated meal from Sara Bradley in Paducah, if you can get yourself out there. And then we're also keeping track of fantasy leagues. We've got over 100 or 200. We've got so many of you playing fantasy leagues, and we're really happy to be able to score those for you, as well as give you shout outs for when you're doing well. Back over to you, Kendra.
Yeah, it's been so much fun. And I had our top 3 power rankings contestant, so Pure XJ, reach out to me on email and just said that being in the top 3 has like made their whole year. And so I was just like, I think we've said it before on the pod, but we just love to like interact with everyone and hear how excited you are about the rankings and what we're sharing. So shout out to you, and we're glad to have you playing. Let's jump into this episode. Last week, we were sort of poo-pooing on the format of how rushed it felt and kind of cramming it all into one sort of double challenge, basically. And this episode, they brought it back. It was a great episode. It just felt like such a big shift from last episode. Like we had mise en place and fishing and we weren't in the kitchen at all this time. And so we got to go out to other restaurants. And so just had like everything that I feel like makes Top Chef great. So I felt like this was like one of the best episodes of the season.
I agree. It was lovely. And seeing them come back after fishing, and you could tell it was sunset, and they were giving the awards for the biggest fish, the smallest fish. And it seemed relaxing. Like, yeah, you could just stand there. I mean, I am not a fisher person. I would occasionally fish with my cousins up in northern Minnesota. But none of us wanted to touch the fish, so it wasn't something that we kept up with, let's say. So I would probably have been one of the ones who didn't catch anything. From a game creation or production standpoint, I really appreciated that the anglers had already caught fish that the chefs could use. I think they all used bass.
Yeah, I think that's mostly what they caught.
Yeah. And so I wonder if that gets old for eating that many dishes of bass. But I thought it was just exactly as you said, a much more harkening back to old times. I have to say, I've been reading a lot on Reddit about the product placement. I'm with you. Like, you don't have to say finish so many times. You can just show it. We get it. I also am very grateful that however it is that Top Chef continues to be on air, if it's through product placement, do it, get more of it so that the challenges don't have to be so back to back to back to back to back like it has been the past couple of weeks. So I'm pro product placement if it means that like it's a little bit more luxurious in terms of how long filming can take.
Yeah, I agree. And they said it a lot, sure, but I felt like they made it a little fun, like mixing it in. So it didn't like bother me that was a product placement in there this episode. But yeah, I feel like they like getting to go out and have fun and do the fishing. Like it did just feel really relaxing at the end. But I also just loved like Tom, Gail, and Kristen just looked like they were having a great day out there. Like I love the signs that they were going by and enjoying the contestants and like shouting out to them. And I also, you mentioned like you don't fish often. I don't either. And I felt Lauren's when he forgot to unlock the reel, like the amount of times I've done that when I've tried to fish or I forget to lock it and then I lose the hook drops. And so I was like, yeah, that would have been me embarrassing myself on national TV trying to fish. So I felt him.
I know. I wish that we could have seen what Tom had caught and it would be a fun little internet drop of something, if he could show what he made with his striped bass or whatever type of bass, I think that would have been really fun. Just to see Tom cook too.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, and I thought it was fun at the end where they did the biggest, smallest, and most fish. I thought I was confused for a bit because they were showing like the numbers, but then they had to throw some back. And so like that part didn't quite make sense, but it sounds like the ones they threw back still counted towards the overall total. So that's, I think, how Dwayne ended up winning both the smallest fish and then the most. Total. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I'll have to, I mentioned this last pod, but when we went fishing a few years ago, I caught my first fish, and it's literally like an inch or two. So maybe I'll post that on social because it might have won the smallest fish, though I'm sure I would have had to throw that one back. But speaking of Dwayne, I'm sad to see Dwayne and Dwayne leave.
Indeed. Yeah, that was tough. I think both her and Rhoda, the edit left in moments where, in Rhoda's first elimination, it brought up about her monkfish being, she's like, I can't remember exactly, but the time of it. And then there was also a little bit of that for Dwayne. So that's unfortunate. But I also think that there's something about, so Top Chef goes from place to place to place to place. And that's one of the wonderful things about Top Chef. However, if there isn't also additional education around the fish or the produce or whatever they're using, maybe if someone had told her, okay, well, yeah, this is like the bass that you work with. And although Dwayne is like sort of local, right? I don't know. Because she worked for the NASCAR guy in episode 1. But yeah, it's hard because sometimes they're working with ingredients they never have before. Right. And so they have to go on instinct. And in this case, her instinct was off.
Yeah. And I think I was maybe reading this on Reddit, but it's like, why didn't she like do a couple, like a tester or two, especially if she wasn't familiar with the fish. And it seemed like she waited till the last minute to cook it, which was similar to Rhoda. And so it's like, oh no, as soon as you hear them make that comment, it's like, this is not going to be good. And so, yeah, but I feel like if this wasn't specifically a fish challenge and she had an undercooked fish, it maybe would have been a different outcome, because it really felt like they wanted to send Seeger home, like just with the comments that were made. And so I'm like, I really wonder if fish hadn't been the main thing that you had to get right, if it would have been a different outcome. But that was the challenge. So here we are.
Yeah, that was when they asked Seeger, did you think about putting a sauce together with the lentils and the fish to like pull it together? And he's like, no, your spoon does that. And I'm just like, ooh, the snark.
I just like felt the cringe. I was like so uncomfortable.
Yeah. I was thinking about how he's been applying for more than 10 years. Yeah. And if this is his level of snark now, I'm kind of glad that they didn't cast him 10 years ago, because it probably would have been a lot worse.
Yeah, no, I agree. Thanks. But he's fun. Like, he has fun quips, but sometimes it's just like, ugh.
Don't be so defensive.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So I did love with him and Sherry in Whole Foods, and he asked like what his tagline would be on Real Housewives, and she said, "Dirtier than a dirty martini." And his face, like, it was just so deadpan. I was like, sometimes he's good.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Yeah.
Well, we also saw Rhoda bounce back, which was great to see.
Yeah. Really, really strong episode. Got her first quickfire win. The quickfires have been more distributed across chefs, though I think Anthony's won twice, but there's been more chefs who have won quickfires than have won elimination challenges, which we'll get into. The king.
Yeah, oh my gosh. He's crushing it. All right. Before we get into that, Tom and Sara talked about this on Pack Your Knives. So I need to know so that we can settle it across the entire group. How do you pronounce it? Pecan or pecan? Because
pecan.
There were... Okay, good. I think we're all on the same page then. But most of them, the top one pronounced this episode was pecan and not pecan. And then Tom said they also mixed pecan. So there were also a few pecans where they took, So anyways, all right. Well, here at Pack Your Knives, we're all on the oh no, now I don't know how
now it's in your head, right? Like, which one do I say? Pecan. We're team
We're all
pecan.
Pecan, yes.
That word sounds like gibberish now.
Oh no. All right. Well, let's move on. Mise en place. This is such a fun challenge. And what I love about it is they do this across most Top Chef seasons. So you have lots of really great data that we can dig into on how these challenges have gone across seasons and how this specific challenge compares to some of the previous ones. So in this season's challenge, we had scuppernong grapes, shrimp, pecans, corn, and one mystery ingredient for round 5 had they gotten there, but we'll never know what that was. So I know they should have at least shown us. So we had 4. How does that compare to what we've seen in the past with the mise en place challenge?
Yeah, so we've seen mise en place in 15 seasons, the vast majority of which were quickfires. 13 of them were in quickfires. At least 2 Last Chance Kitchen seasons, Kentucky season 16 and Wisconsin season 21 also had mise en place relays. When I was looking at, how many times shrimp has been done, I wasn't looking at those 2 seasons, though I think one of them did have shrimp. But of the 15, like, sort of main series mise en place relays, shrimp or prawns came up in a third of those.
Okay.
I personally, I have cleaned shrimp before, and by the end of it, I'm like, this is disgusting. Why do I eat this food?
That's going back to Tom. He said, "No poopies, please."
No poopies.
And, I am with you. It is the grossest thing to clean on shrimp, and I hate when they don't devein them. I hate eating shrimp like that.
So shrimp or prawns come up a third of the time. This was only the second time that nuts were an ingredient for the mise en place. Season 17 All Stars LA had almonds. And also it's only the second time that they have shucked corn. That happened in season 9 Texas. We haven't had grapes before, and I was kind of like, I was expecting there to not have been grapes. But in terms of fruit, there's been a lot of seasons with fruit. There have been 5 seasons with fruit other than grapes, and 4 of those seasons had supreming oranges. So that's usually the main task surrounding a fruit. These grapes, I want to taste them. I'm like, but it seems like a lot of work, and I'm a little bit lazy, so we'll see if I ever eat them.
Agree. Like, I won't even buy grapes with seeds in them at the grocery store because it drives me crazy to pick those out. So I can imagine that those wouldn't be that fun to eat, but sounds like they're tasty. So yeah. Well, that's fun. Do we want to jump into power rankings? Because we got a sad story for that.
I know. And Kendra, you do such a good job of emailing us on Sunday to be like, hey, if you haven't done it, do it. And I didn't, as I said in the intro, I did not submit mine. I got too caught up in trying to decide who the quickfire winner was going to be. And so I was like, I'm going to put this away for another time. And I never came back to it.
Oh, no.
And I dropped from 26th in the rankings to 46th. So, you know, I don't think I was totally in it for the actual win, but now it's certainly impossible, I would think.
Yeah.
I have to say I'm very happy because I am in good company, Kendra, because two of your friends, it was Bishop and someone else also didn't do their episode 10 rankings, and I'm like, cool, okay. So maybe we're just all getting a little tired.
I know, it's hard. And I was traveling last week, so I didn't get, usually I send 2 emails. I send the first email when it's live and then a reminder email on Sunday. This week, I think it was like midday Monday. So I think that makes a big difference when people are getting multiple reminders. So I'll take that one for
no. That's
I think
on
we had
us.
slightly less people participate this week too. So I'll take a little bit of the blame.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, this week I got 6 points only, which is very sad. My strategy this week was like, maybe this is the time where people that haven't won yet will win. Jonathan had a great week, so I was like, maybe he'll have some momentum. It seems like now that his brother's out, there's kind of this like new energy that he has. Sherry, who we'll talk about later, I also ranked her in second because I'm like, I think like she's due for a win. And boy, this episode really got at her. So anyways, I had her, but then I had Dwen third. And I bumped Lawrence down to 5 because I'm like, no way he's going to win 2 in a row. So I'm going to bring him down so that I can like pick up some other people. Well, bad strategy. And you know, we talked about it last week, but at this point to earn points, you're going to have to take some risks because most people are going to put the people you expect to win at the top and the people you expect to go home at the bottom. And so you've got to take some risks, but who knows what risks to take. So I also swung and missed, though not as dramatically as you last week, but got close to it. So that's where I'm at. So I went from 19th to 21st.
Not too bad. Like not too bad.
I know. I was just creeping in on the top 10 and then I really started losing it.
Yeah. Most people did get more points than you. The median was 10 points, but on average, people got 14 points. So you were a little underperforming.
Yeah, that's okay. Well, and I think the bonus question helped out quite a bit. So we kept it pretty simple. Who would win the quickfire? 25 people got that right. So almost, I think, a quarter of the participants got that one right. And so they had Rhoda, which is surprising because we'll get into it later, but where they ranked Rhoda for the power rankings was much different than having her as the top pick or the second pick for the quickfire. So we had Sherry had 30 of the points.
30 of the players choosing her as the most likely to win the quickfire.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. And then Lawrence was third there. So.
Yeah, with Seeger and Jonathan having the fewest people choosing them as most likely to win the quickfire. But, you know, if either of them had, like, then you would have had, you know, those points. Whereas, you know, here, 25 people get those 3 points.
Yeah.
And congrats to Deg SF, who joined Serafina as now they're the only 2 players to get 4 bonus questions right.
That's
well
awesome.
done.
Yeah, I think I have 0 right. So that's great to get 4 of 10. That's
right?
Awesome. I know.
Hello, listener. Producer Mise here to talk to you about Quinn's Cookware. I know cooking can feel like a lot of work these days, especially when the temptation to order takeout is stronger than ever. But trust me when I say that quality cookware makes a big difference in your experience cooking at home. I just got myself a set of 3 Staub rectangular baking dishes. Yes, that's Staub because it's French, and French means quality. It's made of Portuguese durable stoneware. It's oven safe up to 570 degrees Fahrenheit. You can even throw it in the freezer if you want. And the best part is, I know I got them at the best possible price. Because everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than what you'd find at similar brands. You heard me right. High quality materials for half the price. How could such a thing be possible? Well, Quince works directly with manufacturers, cutting out the middlemen and passing the savings on to you. Now, Quince even carries fine wine, from Napa Valley vineyards to Dom Perignon Champagne, enough to fill an aisle. Ho ho! So what are you waiting for? Refresh your everyday with luxury you'll actually use. Go to quince.com/dings for free shipping and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too. Go to quince.com/dings, DINGS, for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/dings.
Get business done with the new American Express Graphite Business Cash Unlimited card. With unlimited 2% cash back on all eligible purchases, unlimited 5% cash back on flights and prepaid hotels booked through American Express Travel Online, and a flexible spending capacity that can grow with your business, you'll have the confidence to keep building. Apply today and earn a welcome offer of $1,500 cash back after you spend $50,000 in qualifying purchases on your new card within the first 6 months of card membership. Terms apply. Learn more at go.amex/graphite.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Okay, so this week we saw Dwayne go home and Lawrence win this episode. As soon as his food came out and they started tasting it, I was like, it doesn't matter how good everyone else's food is. Like, they are loving this. He is going to win this. And that's 4 total wins for him now, which is maybe next week we can talk about, like, in this point of the season, how chefs similar to Lawrence, how they've kind of performed through the rest of the season. But yeah, four total wins is pretty dominant.
Yeah, I actually, 5 minutes ago, I wrote down 4 elimination wins as a reminder to either look at the sort of GOAT, greatest of all time list, or, Tristan was super strong last season as well. I can't remember how many elimination wins he had, but sort of looking at that count, because Lawrence is doing such a great job.
Yeah. And just like his stories and the way he like connects his food to those stories, like he's just, you can tell he's cooking from the heart with the food that he's making, like last week with the soup. And that really harkened back to like eating like with his dad and that whole piece of it. And this week with his now wife, like you can tell he just like really is loving what he's making, and it means a lot to him, and it comes across in like the way he's presenting it and obviously like how good it is. So it's, love to see it. Well, how'd everyone do this week in predicting that was what was going to happen?
39 people got it right that Lawrence was the winner. And this was the episode with the second most people correctly guessing the person, choosing, the person who was most likely to be eliminated. Win. As the person who won. And the last time this happened, the time that the most people, it was more than 40 people got this right in episode 3, was when Lawrence won for his first time. So, both of the times most people have gotten it correct. It's been wins of Lawrence's. a lot of people had him in their top 3, though. 82% of people had him. So, I think it's pretty clear to all of us, like, he's a clear front runner.
Yeah.
I'm thinking as the numbers whittle down that maybe next week, instead of looking at who has the winner in their top 3, I'll look at who has the winner in their top 2. Just because that'll keep it in thirds, and then we'll see what happens at 5 in terms of what's the best stat to look at. But yeah, I mean, people were really, predicting Lawrence's win. He's the only chef this week that had 0 people choose him as most likely to be eliminated.
Of course, yeah. Lawrence.
Yeah. And speaking of being eliminated, only one person got Dwen or selected Dwen as the most likely to be eliminated. And so congrats to Maura O. 22 people had Dwen as most likely to win, and only Maura had Dwen as most likely to be eliminated.
Crazy. Yeah. And I was just looking, she was in third basically in the rankings. So most people had her toward the top with 22. So big bummer. And she's another one where she was like really cooking. It felt like from a place of where she was just like really connecting with the food. So it was just like such a bummer that she didn't get the fish cooked, because they really loved the broth that she made. So very sad.
And Dwen has been in the top 3 for 6 of the 10 episodes power rankings. So, definitely losing a bit of a front runner here.
Yeah.
And just also, she's got a really good TV personality and has been really fun to watch. But it was also sweet. Kristen was like, "I'm really sorry to see you go." So I think that there was some of that that the judges were seeing as well.
Yeah. Yeah. She's one I'd love to see come back for like an All-Stars. I think she'd be a great personality. And I saw like the sweetest Instagram post from Rhoda for this, because I know Rhoda just like broke down at the end when she was leaving, which was so sad. And it was a very funny post, it felt like a Rhoda personality post, where she was like, when I first met Dwen, her personality was way too extra for me. But then she's like, and I'm not an extra person. And she's like, but once we got to know each other, she became like one of her best friends, and they would do like late nights with wine. And so it was just like such a sweet message. And it's like, I love to see them like build those bonds. But I just thought it was very funny. She was like, she's super extra. But it's very fun. Yeah. Well, a few user shout outs. So Top Dog jumped from 8th place to now being tied for 4th. So congratulations to Top Dog. Coster 077 moved from 9th to 8th. So those are some of our top 10 jumps there. We had Big Mama WSNC rejoin the top 10. So jumped up 10 spots. And then our leaderboard, there's a 4-point gap between first and second. So that's pretty good. And then an 8-point gap between second and third. Yeah. So we'll see what happens these next few episodes.
And it's consistently been Michelle, Deg SF, and Pure XJ. I have XY in here, but it's XJ, right?
Yes.
XJ. Yeah. So, they're the ones to beat.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see how this goes. Well, we talked a bit about where users ranked who was most likely to win the challenge. But what about eliminations? Where were people's heads from an elimination perspective?
Oof. So 75 out of the 122 players put Seeger as the most likely to be eliminated. There were that many who chose Jennifer to be as the most likely to be eliminated in episode 7. So people were like, it is his time. Like he is going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
And as we talked about earlier, it was close, but as a percentage of the number of players, this is the largest percent we've seen in terms of the percent of players choosing someone to be most likely to be eliminated. Like 75 is huge. There is the one person chose Seeger as most likely to win, and
who are you?
Could have paid off. But alas,
yes.
Yeah, Rhoda and Jonathan were pretty. They were both. Jonathan was in third to last, and Rhoda was second to last, and a decent number of people, 31, put Rhoda as most likely to be eliminated, and so her average was an average rank of 5. Jonathan's was an average rank of 4.7, and they both had like people choosing them on either side, but it seems more like Jonathan was in people's middle and Rhoda was like middle bottom, and then plus the 31 who had her as most likely to be eliminated. As I was watching it, I thought Rhoda was going to win the episode. I thought she was going to win the elimination as well.
Interesting. Yeah. She did great. Next week's going to be hard. So we've got 6 chefs left.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like any of them could go home at this point just for like a bad mistake. Like,
right.
Because I think it might be easy to just say like Seeger again, he had a rough week. But it's like you undercook a protein and you're out. So it's going to be pretty challenging. But let's talk about next episode. And we didn't talk much about Sherry yet. But the edit at the end of this episode where they picked the top 4. First, she talked about like, I feel like I'm just flat, which if you look at her points and she's only had 1 bottom and then she's just been either like making it through or like not really making the top 3 very often either. But she talked about that, and then they picked the top 4 and they keep zooming back to her and you can just tell how upset she is, but then they don't pick her for the bottom 2 either. So she doesn't get any feedback on her food. And they just keep going back like 3 or 4 times. They like zoomed back in on her face.
Yeah.
And I was like, so now they show the scene from next episode where she gets really frustrated. So, I'm curious to see. What happens.
I just want to clarify. She's actually been in the top 3 5 times.
Oh,
so half of elimination challenges, she has been in the top, and then she's been safe 4. And as you said, she's only been in the bottom once.
Yeah.
So I think she's just wanting more and is so close. And I also think that people are tired. And so, it might be a little explosive next week, but also with next week, at the end of the next week on, it seemed like Jonathan was throwing Anthony under the bus, because was it Rhoda who was like, oh, hey, how's your back? Like, you just got run over. So I don't know if that means it's a team challenge or if it's that something happened, like sort of like in World All-Stars when Gabri spilled water into Dawn's vegetables. So I think there's going to be a little bit more drama next week.
Yeah, I was really curious because I was trying to place at the beginning they're outside, and then the dining for the elimination challenge looks like it's inside, but then they were all sitting outside when Rhoda made that comment. So I couldn't figure out exactly what's going to happen. But also the way she phrased that, I don't think was correct. But we won't get into that.
If you want to hear a bunch of things that are said incorrectly, go watch Real Housewives of Rhode Island. It is incredible.
Oh, I'll have to check that out. Yeah, I think she said train instead of bus, and I think that maybe has a different meaning, but
it was like confusing, but the gist is like, does Jonathan throw Anthony under the bus?
Yes.
Or is there a train and someone didn't get on board? I'm not sure.
I don't know. Yeah, we'll see. But it does look like it's some sort of like Michelin food episode. So excited to see kind of what the dishes end up being for next week.
Yeah, the words I wrote down are swamp, rabbit, French, jerk flavor. And I'm reading that. I'm like, I don't remember any of that.
This is swamp rabbit, I think.
Okay, yes.
I forget.
Yeah. It was swamp rabbit, French. Yeah, so yeah. I guess.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It'll be fun. All right. Little bit of time left. Let's talk fantasy league. So I've got one scoring note. So for the quick fire, we didn't score the team that lost the mise challenge is like at the bottom because they didn't participate in the quick fire. So only the chefs that participated in the quick fire got points for being on top, and then just got marked for bottom. We don't actually give any points for being on the bottom of quickfire. So just wanted to make a note on that. And then in terms of the fantasy league boards for chefs, Lawrence obviously killing it in first. I think Anthony's about 10 points behind him. So really not a huge gap between the two of them, despite Lawrence being like just completely dominating. And so that will be fun to see those two kind of battle it out at the top. And then there's about a gap of 20 points. And then we've got Sherry. So we mentioned she's been on the top quite a bit and rarely on the bottom. So she's earned a lot of points. But as you noted, she hasn't earned more than 5
in an episode. So it's like steady.
Yeah. Crazy. And then we've got a gap of 10 points where you've got Jonathan and Rhoda who are close with 21 and 19 points. And then you've got a gap where I think you have Dwayne, Brandon, Jennifer, who have all been eliminated. And then Seeger is still below them with 3 points. So landing in the bottom these past few episodes have kind of continues to kind of keep him toward the bottom of the mix.
At the end of this episode, Dwayne and Brandon both have 16 points. Jennifer 13. Yeah, you're right. I kind of just skimmed over that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, because you can't really even see him there. Sorry, buddy. All right. Well, what about the team leagues and how all of those teams are doing?
Yeah. So Dwayne was the most drafted chef. So that will certainly affect a lot of teams then. 115 teams drafted her. Looking at the standardized scores, overall, Team 3 of Season 23, Top Chef Foodball, is in the lead, but they only have Lawrence as chef, so their average score is like 62 or whatever his actual score is.
Wow.
And then in second is Risotto Curse of PYK 4. Their team is Lawrence and Anthony. So
how'd they secure that?
Incredible.
Wow.
When I'm looking at your league and my league, I am currently winning my league.
Hey.
And you are in second. You're beating all of your friends in power rankings. So you can hold that
I'll
over
take
them.
that. Yeah. Gotta brag about something.
Yeah. Because of time, I'm going to skip all of the other things I usually do and just sort of look at how the Pack Your Knives teams are doing. And I have a thing, but it is too small and I am trying to make it bigger. Okay. So first of all, I want to say, M. Croissant, thank you for reaching out to me. We fixed your scoring, but your scoring was totally fine on the website. It was just in the Tableau that Kendra and I use to feed into this podcast. So you're all set. So let's see. We talked about Risotto Curse. In terms of the teams of 4, Team 2 of PYK 8 is in the lead. Pasta Trophy of PYK 7 has -5 points.
Sad.
So, whoops. Teams of 5, Costers, who I'm guessing, is also the person who's in the top 10 now for power rankings, looking at the username. They're leading in terms of the number of, in terms of the Pack Your Knives teams that have 5 chefs. So it's Costers, then Dumpling, then M Croissant, then Team 2 of Pack Your Knives 2, then No Reservations from Pack Your Knives 3. And at the bottom of that league is Left My Heart with Massimo, PYK 2, and then Team 4 from PYK 8. So we've got just some people who are doing really well. Costers has Lawrence, Anthony, Sherry, Seeger, and Nana. So
Jeez.
Lawrence, Anthony, and Sherry just really carrying Costers.
Yeah.
Dumpling has Anthony and Sherry and the twins and Jossie. So that explains, Anthony and Sherry, great picks.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I mean, people are doing well. It's fun to see all of the team names. Hopefully next year we can get people to rename their teams, because then I'm just not reading a bunch of numbers and you can really identify when we're giving you a shout out.
Yeah, agree. And I listened to Pack Your Knives today, and poor Tom,
I honestly didn't mention him. Yeah. Yep.
He has 1 chef left. Sara has 5. There's no Last Chance Kitchen to bring anyone back. So he's just Team Anthony. But boy, that's brutal. Sorry, Tom, but congrats, Sara. She crushed that blind draft. Just really has a great team
eye
there left. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah. All right. Well, that will wrap it up for today. Reminder, submit your rankings, Carly, on it's find-topchef.com. You'll get an email reminder. So don't forget to get that in by 9:25 Eastern, which I know is a challenge because you are Pacific time. So that does, I feel like, make it a little bit harder because you're not getting ready to jump onto the episode. You still have a couple hours. So I feel for the Pacific and Mountain Time folks, it's a little harder. Bonus question. We're going to stick with who will win the quick fire. It looks like there's one that's going to happen this episode. So hopefully that's the case. And then make sure you check out all the great content on packyourknives.com. Don't miss Tom and Sara's episode recaps. I love hearing Sara talk about the cooking side of it. She talked about how to her approach on how she would have done the Scuppernong grapes and how she disagreed with the approach that Seeger and Jonathan took. And she talked about cooking the fish. So I just love her insider tips on what she might have done differently or why they're doing things a certain way. So definitely go check out packyourknives.com. Also check out the Substack. Carly's always doing great analysis on there. And I think that's it. Anything else, Carly?
And this has been Track Your Knives.